Welcome back into the American studios. The Tulane Green Wave have not been to the NCAA tournament since 1995, but this year might be the year to change all of that. Coach Ron Hunter having all 5 starters back. Mark, what really intrigues you here about this group?
From the hunter to the hunted. That's exactly where Tulane is at right now. This is a program that the American has served well with the platform to give them the opportunity to play at a national level. This was a team only 4 seasons ago that was ranked number 300 in the RPI before the net. But they have ascended to a top 100 program last season. I'm excited for this Green Wave bunch.
Me too. Let's welcome in the head coach, Ron Hunter, who looks mighty sharp today over there in New Orleans. They've got the hoops hullabaloo to look forward to tonight. Coach Hunter, thank you for taking the time to join us. Having all 5 starters back, 2 preseason All-League guys, I'm curious, where have you seen this cohesion the most gelling with your team here right now?
Well, this group has been together for the last few years. You know, I'm a big believer that to get to that golden prize, whatever it may be in life, you got to go through some things. And we've been through some things in the last 3 or 4 years with this group, whether it's been a hurricane or COVID, and we've kind of come through it together. And all of us, you know, in the last 3 years, we've all been together through a lot of different things. And so we're excited. This is the first time since I've been here that we're having an off season that's a normal off season, and same for these young men. You know, what's funny about a lot of these guys that I've got in the program, you know, we didn't even recruit these kids. These are all Zoom kids from COVID. And so it's a lot of things that we've gone through now, and we just think it's our time. But you've got to go through some things, man. And as hard as they work this summer and as hard as they're working right now, great things are going to happen for this group of young people that I've got. And you know, I don't get excited too often, but I'm really excited right now.
Ron, Mark Adams, great to see you again. I'm really excited to watch your team play again. I love the way you guys competed last season. You had spoke to me before about how COVID changed you personally and as a recruiter. Could you expand on that a little bit as to some of the things you've shared with me about how COVID, how it affected you personally and how it affected your ability to recruit as well?
Yeah, you know, a couple years ago when I had COVID really bad, man, it changed my outlook on everything, to be honest with you. I'm a high energy guy, and I had never been to the point where I had been depressed and really needed some help with that. And not just from the basketball part, just everything that went with it. And so it allowed me to kind of take a step back for me to be a better parent, a father, a coach, and a friend. And so using some of those things that were taken away from me, then when I came out of this thing, man, especially, like I said, even with our team, it just made us stronger. It made us better. I'm enjoying life. I enjoyed life before, but I enjoy it a lot more now. I don't sweat some of the small things that I used to. I love this job. I love this community. I love coaching this group of players. Just a few years ago, Tulane didn't win a conference game. And, you know, you're not going to get coach talk from me. Man, I've got a really, really good basketball team. I'm really ready to play. We're not talking about be patient. I ain't talking about none of that stuff, man. We are ready to play right now. I wish I can play now. I got the dudes to back it up. I'm excited. We got everything that's going to be great except for one thing, Mark. We got to get over this one hurdle. I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but if these kids can get over the hurdle of the coach is going to be the only problem we got. We got everything else. Right now, at the coaching, I got to continue to work on that. But from the player aspect, from the community, from Tulane, everybody's ready. We just got to make sure we get that coach. And if it's messed up, it's 100% on the coach because he's got a group right now.
Well, we'll see what we can do to help you out with that, Coach Brooke Weisberg here in the studio. It looks like you spent this summer in the same conditioning program as your players, so definitely looking fit there. And I wanted to ask you about Jalen Cook. What a great first season he had, first team all-conference last year. You can't really say, could this be a breakout season for him? What is his ceiling? Could he grab Player of the Year?
You know, Jalen Cook's a really good player, and I think he'll tell you the same thing. What makes him great is that the people around him. I mean, again, I don't know if he has a season, if he doesn't have Forbes or he doesn't have Cross, and I think you could say that for those other guys also. Well, they're 3 completely different players. But if you really, when you put the ball in Jalen Cook's hand and you got a high ball screen up there with Kevin Cross and you got one of the best shooters in the country in Forbes, and you got those 3 guys out there, it makes his job easier because there's no double teaming. I mean, I don't know where you're going to double team. You can't double team Jalen. You're surely not going to double team Forbes or Cross. And so it really helps Jalen Cook because he has the ball in his hand and he's dynamic with that. If you look all statistically around the country, he's one of the best ball screen offensive guys in the country. And so it's our job to make sure we continue to do that. But like all those guys, they're all better people than they are basketball players. And they're really, really good basketball players.
Coach, good to see you, and thanks for joining us as always. Our first question from the media will be from John Tiedel of Hoops HD.
Good afternoon, Coach. I didn't see too many seniors listed on your roster, so I was curious if you have your leadership in place, and if so, who is it?
Well, again, we've had a lot of kids. We got a lot of guys that have been here for a long time. It is very ironic that we've got an experienced basketball team, but from a basketball perspective, there's no what I call true senior in regards to basketball-wise. But if you look at guys like Forbes and Cross and Sion, some of those guys, they're going into their third year now of college basketball. I mean, fourth year of college basketball. So again, these guys. I mean, there's nothing that I can come up in a practice that we haven't done in the game. We've been through a lot. Well, we've been up, we've been down, we've had to come back, we've had to build this thing. We've had bad crowds, we've had good crowds. Everything that you can imagine that can happen this year, we've been through. And so these guys can rely on each other. It's not something that they got to go talk about it, because we've been through all these things together. Just even last week when they were talking about the hurricane that may come to New Orleans, man, we had been through that before. They knew how to handle it. So for us, man, what we just need to do is stay healthy and just kind of make sure we just win the day. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I love what we've got. The leadership is there. We were inexperienced a year or two ago. We've got great experience now, and so that's not going to be an excuse that we'll have. But these guys lean on each other. I lean on them. I'll be honest with you. I've never done it as a head coach, but I lean on these guys. I can't wait to come to practice because they lift me up. So that's what I love about this group.
Our next question will come from Tim Buckley from the Daily Memphian.
Hey, Coach. I'm with the Daily Memphian in Memphis, and I wanted to ask you, when you were in the Sun Belt and you guys at Georgia State used to go at it with Louisiana Lafayette and that group, there was not a lot of love between you all and Coach Marlin and them. Is there a comparable matchup for you guys in the American now? And maybe on a related note, what are your impressions of the job that Penny Hardaway has done so far in Memphis, and what he could do perhaps now that he has another 2 years added to extend his contract even further?
Well, first of all, congratulations to Penny on the contract extension. I think that every athletic director should give their coaches a 2-year extension before we even start the season. I propose that. I think it should happen. We don't all have to make $16 million, but if we all make about $14 million, I think everybody will be happy. So that's the answer to that question. Secondly, I think this is the most underrated basketball conference in the country. Great coaches, great traditions, great basketball. The problem with rivalries with this group is that, we're so far from each other. It's kind of hard to have that. And, you don't really recruit against each other anymore because of the transfer portal and so many these other things. But I got a great deal of respect for all the coaches in this league, and I know how tough this league is. And so, and what Penny is doing at, especially at his alma mater, I always think that's special when you can go back to the school where you started and again, he's growing. This is only his third or fourth year also being a Division I head coach. So I'm pretty sure he'll be the first one to tell you he's growing. I've seen a lot of growth in him as a basketball coach in the last few years. So we've got great coaches, man, up and down the roster. You've got to be able to come and play in this league, and you get caught up in rivalries and all the other stuff, man, you're going to get beat. You just got to worry about your team and worry about today and getting better and make sure that every athletic director gives their coach a 2-year extension. I think that's really important that we do that.
Coach Hunter, I'm curious, with one of your guards, Sion James, probably doesn't get talked about enough with the other guards that you have on your team, but for him to be appointed as the SAC chair for the American Athletic Conference, a prestigious honor, what impresses you most about this young man, and how have you seen his leadership develop since he was appointed to that position?
I think that the players that are coming up here next will tell you the same thing. Sion is a big part of what we do, man. He's one of the smartest kids I've ever coached in my life. He's smarter than his head coach right now. I told him, I couldn't have got in Tulane, and he's a 4.9 student at Tulane. So if he says something, I just kind of listen to him because he's a lot smarter than his coach. But he's just a great kid, man. And it's funny. We've got what we call our big three guys who get a lot of the accolades and some of those things. But we do not go unless Sion James is doing all the little dirty work for us. And so he does a lot of different things for us. He wears a lot of different hats for us in our defense and offensively and some of those things. And so just if there was a picture in Webster Dictionary what a student athlete would look like, it would look just like Sion James.
Ron, you got a couple of intriguing transfers in Colin Hardaway and Trey Williams. How are they fitting in now with all the returning guys?
Wow, it's a great problem to have. We added two really talented transfers to our program. I mean, extremely talented. 2 years ago, those guys would walk right in this program and could be all conference or lead us in scoring. But they're behind some guys right now that have been here. They're going to add great depth to what we have. And Colin is a Louisiana kid who's playing terrific right now from Georgetown and averaged 9 points a game there. And his physicality is something that we've been missing, and that'll help us. And Trey's been able to, another guard that can score on the perimeter that's got a ton of experience from Minnesota and some of the places that he's been. So we really added two guys that I really think that's going to help us, that's going to be in the mix, and it's a long year. But those two guys, we haven't had great depth in our program. We now have great depth that if someone got in foul trouble or injured, last year we lost Cook in the last 3 or 4 parts of the season, and this year we can sustain that if we needed to with the additions of these guys.
Ron, give your granddaughter a kiss for me, please.
Oh, I'm definitely going to give my granddaughter a kiss. You can believe that, buddy. Good to see you. I like that tie, man. That tie looks good. It looks like a Tulane tie. I like that, buddy. Man, you know what? You done lost some weight. You like your glasses.
By the way,
TV's doing well for you. You know that?
You're the man, Ron. And by the way, USF was on today, too. I'm just saying.
That's okay. We're not winning.
Giving out compliments left and right.
Thanks, guys.
Coach, I'm curious, before I let you go, though, I'm curious, who have you recruited to teach you this Hot Boy Ronald dance? The Green Wave football team doing it after their big wins. Have you found the person that's going to teach you yet?
I have been working on my Hot Boy Ronald dancing. I couldn't sleep. I was up at 4:30 this morning, and there was a step to the left, to the right, and then my granddaughter's toy was singing. I didn't see it. Oh, no. If you got to tune in tonight, it's going to be on ESPN3. You got to tune in. I have spent hours on this dance. I've got it down. And guess what? I went out yesterday to the mall. I bought me a Hot Boy Ronald outfit to wear. I can't wait to wear it. I got the gold chains. I got the whole thing. Man, it's going to be beautiful tonight.
Well, the viewership numbers are going to be way up after that, team. Coach Hunter, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Really excited about what you've built there at Tulane and your program this season.
Thanks, guys. God bless.
So much great energy from Coach Hunter. What stands out the most? Where do you even go from there?
So I've done his games with the Sun Belt Championship, and the one year I'm interviewing him post game. He asked me a question. You're going to Mars, okay? He brings his granddaughter into the interview, and I kissed his granddaughter on live TV. I'm the only guy to ever do that on live TV. And there was a mother that complained that possibly I was sharing germs. This was before COVID, by the way. But anyway, that was the only one complaint. Then the other time, he jumps up to celebrate RJ's shot, blows out his Achilles tendon. They're celebrating, place going pandemonium. He's laying down right in front of our broadcast area. He's on his back. He's crying. Rich Hollenberg, my partner, saying, look at the tears of ecstasy. I said, no, he's hurt. And RJ's on top of him. And so they had to lower the basket. You know how they cut down the nets? Yeah. Oh, yeah. They had to lower the basket so Ron could hobble up there and cut the nets down. He is a classic.
So much energy and handing out the compliments to you, too, left and right. I mean, it is a nice
time. We'll take some as well.
Yeah, right.
We have a history. We do have a history.
Exactly.
I'm curious. We're going to hear from the Jalen connection next, both of them. What are you looking for from them this season and how they can really maybe even, they were picked fourth in this conference, but maybe even have a higher ceiling than that?
Brooke, you know what's really cool about these two guys? They play together. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jaylen Forbes went for 30 in one game and 37 on Cincinnati. And Cook, of course, is another dynamic. I mean, he does everything. But they play together, which I really find interesting. You got two big-time star players. They like each other. They like playing together.
And they're a Batman and Robin without having the role. A Pip and Jordan without having the dominating player. And I think if you ask both of them, they will complement each other's games. Obviously, Cook is the guy in the league, and he's going to go for Player of the Year this year. I think he could definitely do it. So this is a team that's full, that's deep, and playing for Ron Hunter, he's got the most energy of any coach I think I've ever been around. So it's infectious.
They have a good connection. One of our top plays of the entire year last season was actually the Jalen connection, and a steal, a no-look pass from the floor.
Yeah.
I did that game. Unbelievable.
Well, let's welcome them in right now to talk about the high expectations for this season. Jalen Cook, Jaylen Forbes, great to be here with you today. We just had Coach Hunter on talking about the excitement and the hoops hullabaloo and all the buzz that's going on with this team in New Orleans. Why do you two believe you have what it takes to really, make these high expectations a reality here this season?
Just like Coach said, we're a pretty experienced team now. We're deeper than we've ever been since I've been here. And so, we added some good transfers also. So, as long as we come out, we compete every game and play as a team, we're going to be pretty hard to beat.
Like Forbes said, we're a pretty deep team this year, and we've been putting in a lot of work, and the coaches and everybody in the program have been doing a great job. And I think we're going to have a big year and just progress off last year.
Hey guys, Brooke Weisberg in the studio. The suits look very sharp. We are big fans, definitely. And I know you two love playing together, but you're welcome. I would love to hear actually both of your takes on having a guy like Kevin Cross to give you that third big piece in your team.
Kev's just as big as me and Cook. Without Kev, none of it really happens. We run our offense through really Kev and Cook, honestly. You see half the time Kev bringing the ball up the floor, he makes 95% of the decisions half the time. I'm pretty sure I got most of his assists just because of him making my defender help some type of way. So Kev's a big piece of this team also.
Yeah, Kev is a big piece. He one of the best players in the country. So we just give the ball to him. He'll go get a bucket. So I think Kev is a great dude, and he's been working hard all off season, and he's gonna be great this year.
Guys, it's Mark Adams. It's great to see you. And will you take me shopping with you when I come to New Orleans? I need a serious upgrade of my wardrobe.
I got you.
For sure.
All right. I'm all in on that. Okay, now, here's what I'd like you to do. I would like you guys, because I know you have great chemistry. I know you know each other well. So Jaylen versus Jaylen. Both of you tell me one thing about the other that nobody knows.
I probably don't know Cook right left-handed. Yeah, he right left-handed. Shoots right-handed, but right's left-handed. Yeah.
Forbes, he talk all day now, but when we play AAU, he didn't used to say a thing. So he a real quiet dude, but he talk all day now. So my dog.
But, your chemistry on the court is obvious. And so both you guys, tremendous players, both you guys are Player of the Year candidates. How have you been able to manage that dynamic of two great players playing together on the same court, but yet being unselfish? How do you manage that?
I'll say it kind of started when, us playing AAU together. We both want to see each other win. So, I'll tell Cook anytime he got the ball, can't nobody really guard you, so just go get a bucket. And 9 times out of 10, he making the right read. So, I ain't never jealous of Cook just because I know what he brings to the table. Last year, he was a big part of us. I'm pretty sure we don't win a lot of them games without Cook. So,
just like Bro said, we've been playing together since we was since I was in 7th grade, 8th grade. So it's just like our chemistry already there. So we both comfortable with each other. Every time I pass Forbes the ball, I want him to shoot it because he the best, one of the best shooters in the country. So he been that. So I got all my confidence in him, in my bro.
Gentlemen, thanks for joining us today. We have a question from John Tiedel of Hoops HD.
Good afternoon. I love that you call each other by your last name. So my question is for Cook. You missed the last 4 games in March due to a hamstring injury. So I was curious, how bad was the injury and how is your health doing at the moment?
It was kind of bad last year, but now it's pretty good. Just gotta take it day by day, stretching and just be ready for the season. But right now it's pretty good. It's good.
We'll take one from Neil Meyer of Front Office News.
Hey guys, you guys are returning all 5 starters from a season ago, and you guys were picked to finish 4th in the preseason polls. Talk about what this offseason has been like for you guys and what you guys as both returning players have been able to improve on this offseason.
I feel like us returning all 5 starters has been a big deal, but I mean, with the new guys we've added, that's been a big deal also. I mean, as soon as they came in this summer, everybody just was in the gym 24/7 working, trying to get better. And, you know, we was even in there as teams at nights running ones with each other. So building that chemistry at the same time, working hard with each other. So that's been pretty big to me.
The offseason was real big. We got a lot of work in, worked all summer and all August and October. So, and the Costa Rica trip was big for us too, on and off the court. So I think we had a great offseason, and we just ready to get out there and hoop.
Guys, speaking of the offseason, you took a team trip together to Costa Rica where you played some basketball, but you also did some mission work. I'm curious what you gained from that experience and being in that community and being around those kids there.
I'll say the biggest thing was just being able to give back to, you know, people who don't have what we have. So, I mean, we went out there to play games, but at the same time, that's not what we was really looking forward to. So we went out there. I mean, I've never washed anybody's feet before, that it's not mine. So, I mean, I went out there and I was washing kids' feet and I had no problem with it. And just to see the joy on their face after giving them a pair of socks and a pair of shoes that they'll have for some years, it'll be something that they'll remember and something that I'll forever remember also.
It was big giving back to others. You know, I think that was one of the highlights of the trip for sure. Just seeing the smiles on the kids' face and, you know, brightening up their days. And, you know, it wasn't really expected for them, so I think it was big.
Jaylen, thank you both so much. Really great to hear about that experience and really looking forward to seeing this team here together this season. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.